members are just all late.
Oh yeah, loads of it.
Way down there. That's a long jog.
Yeah? Hey, you should be giving me a ride. Not on that thing.
Okay. No. Guess we're not sitting there then, huh? In that hour. You're supposed to move. Are we now? Okay. Bye. Filming.
Good morning, friends and family, Board of Education members, faculty and administration, of course, the class of 2020, and welcome to the 137th Merrill High School graduation ceremony. I'm Shannon Murray, and I have the great pleasure of serving as principal of Merrill High School, and I'll be your master of ceremonies for the next 4 or 5 hours this morning. I never get tired of that. Before we begin, though, please join me for the playing of the national anthem.
Unfortunately, they are all the way over there. They locked all this up.
Before we get started, you might have noticed that this is not our typical graduation ceremony here at Merrill High School. Because of that, I'd like to explain a few things. The PA system that we have here today is really intended for the students to hear. It's not intended to reach to the back of the parking lot. And so we are fortunate to have WJMT broadcasting live for us today. You can hear that in your cars. And we also have it live streamed on YouTube. Our technicians, however, say that while it's going out hardwired to YouTube, if you pull it off of YouTube, you're using cell data and everything's drawn off the same tower. So it might be a little clunky in this parking lot, so WJMT is probably your best bet as far as listening live. So we appreciate everybody's flexibility and understanding as we're delighted to offer our seniors a graduation ceremony that they deserve. So good morning, everyone. I'm happy to be here this morning because today I get to introduce you to 200 people who have very bright futures, and that is the class of 2020 that is sitting here in front of us. We first met this class 4 years ago in our field house. It was the first day of school for freshmen. We call it Wing Crew Day. And so it was their first day as the class of 2020 at Merrill High School. And on that first day of school for freshmen, we cover a lot of things. We give them a lot of information, and we tell them to take advantage of the opportunities that we have for them here because we fortunately have a lot of opportunities for them. We tell them to make every day count because the 4 years will go by very, very fast, and of course it did. We tell them to take school seriously and to give themselves all the options that they can when they graduate. We tell them to get involved in something, some club or some team or some sport or organization or activity so that they can be connected to their school and have fun while they're here. So I told them 4 years ago to take advantage of the opportunities that they were given, and they did. In fact, this group, the class of 2020, rose to each and every challenge that we would put in front of them. If we added a new advanced placement course, they would take it and score great on the tests and want more. If we added college credit courses, they would rise to that challenge, take those classes, and thrive. When we expanded our courses offered here over the last couple of years for college credit at NTC or UWSP or Wausau, they would take those as well. Sitting in front of us today, the class of 2020, there are many students who have earned college credits while in high school, be it through AP courses or UW English 101, 102, youth options, course options, dual enrollment, those kind of things. We have a lot of students that earned a lot of college credits here. In fact, if I could ask all students that have earned college credits while enrolled at Merrill High School to please rise and be recognized, we'd love to celebrate you. Nice job, everybody. Thank you. 4 years ago, we told a bunch of freshmen to take school seriously and give themselves options when they graduate, and they did. This is a very smart group, and it's a very accomplished group, and it's a competitive group. You can imagine how hard it is to get to the top of this class. And in fact, every year at graduation, we recognize our top 10 students. Well, the class of 2020 wouldn't settle for the top 10. They had to have a top 11, all with perfect 4.0 grade point averages. So I'd like to recognize those students and ask them to stand. And as I read your name, please stand, and we'll hold the applause till the end. The top 11 students in the class of 2020 in alphabetical order are Eve Akey, Camille Ament, Abigail Bergner, Cody Depues, Caitlin Hahn, Elizabeth Hartson, Isabella Laufenberg, Caleb Novich, Aaliyah Pillai, Sophia Schrader, and Ananda Van Wee. Let's give it a nice round of applause for these folks. This group, the class of 2020, took school very seriously and paid off. In late May, we had our annual Senior Awards Night, which of course this year was done virtually. And thanks to the generosity of the Merrill community, this group earned over $1.4 million in scholarships. Now, Merrill's always had a really good, robust scholarship program, but 1.4 is a significant accomplishment. Can I ask every student who received a scholarship this year to please rise and be recognized for your achievements? Please rise. Congratulations. Thank you. This group worked hard outside of the classroom as well. Through work-based learning opportunities, students earned credit, cash, and real-world experiences to prepare them for the careers after high school. We're pleased to offer many school-to-career options for our students, and we're very proud that Merrill High School has the largest youth apprenticeship program in the state of Wisconsin. Would everyone who earned these valuable experiences and high school credit through work-based learning programs and apprenticeships please stand and be recognized for that? Congratulations, nice job. Speaking of careers, Merrill High School has always enjoyed a strong tradition of having our graduates enlist in military service after high school, and this year is no exception. Unfortunately, this year is a little bit different because many students had to report to boot camp prior to this July graduation. However, we do want to recognize those students and let them know that we're thinking of them today and that we appreciate their service. There are still some students in our class that haven't reported yet, so I'm going to ask all those students that are enlisting in service to please join us and stand to be recognized. And we appreciate the work of all our servicemen and women. Please stand. Carter, nice job. Thank you very much. Thank you. You know, 4 short years ago, I told a group of students to get involved in groups and teams and activities to help them get connected to their school and have some fun while they're here. And they did that very well. We're fortunate to offer a wide variety of activities and sports and clubs here at Merrill High School, many of which are offered on a competitive basis. The end result was very impressive. This class earned conference championships, regional championships, sectional championships, and state appearances in a variety of sports. And Russ Detmering, who's sitting here with us today, was crowned state golf champion his junior year. And regarding Russ, here's how I see that. Since nobody was able to beat him, he's still the reigning champ. So Russ, I consider you a 2-time state champion. Congratulations, Russ. In this class are students that won regional and national or state art and music competitions and produced some of the best musicals we've had here in many, many years. Meanwhile, it was the same class, the class of 2020, that kept our local things like the FCA and the National Honor Society and Octagon Club, Trap Team and Fishing Club, FFA and Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and so many other of our groups thriving in our school, and I thank you for that. They got involved and they were very good at what they did, and as their principal at Merrill High School, I'm very, very grateful that you did that. Can I ask all students who were involved in a club, an activity, in a team, or a sport to please stand up and be recognized for your commitment to your school? Thank you very much. Thank you. However, for all these accomplishments, the thing that we'll miss most about this group is that they're really wonderful people. They're people you like to talk to and get to know, people that would be great as neighbors, people who are kind, generous, fun, and caring. Now, I think back to that first day of freshman year when they were 14 years old and bright-eyed sitting in the bleachers at Merrill High School for their first day of school. And I failed to mention one thing to the group, and that's this. On that first day of school, I failed to tell them that the last 1/3 of their school year was to be spent in their kitchens and living rooms and bedrooms doing online learning because of a worldwide pandemic. I failed to tell them that they wouldn't have spring sports their senior year, or a prom, or a spring musical, and a host of other things that we look forward to your senior year, because we'd be shut down. And I certainly didn't tell them their graduation would take place in a parking lot in July on a really hot day. So I'm sorry we didn't see that one coming, but even through all of that, the class of 2020 showed a level of grit, optimism, hope, and resilience that will serve you very well for the rest of your lives, and we're very proud of that. As principal of Merrill High School, I'm very, very proud of the class of 2020 for overcoming all that you've had to face this year. The group is smart and accomplished, It's fun and spirited. This combination has made for a very fun and memorable year, or 4 years at Merrill High School. You guys work hard, you play hard, and you are great people. Congratulations on all your accomplishments, the best wishes in the future. It's been nice watching you grow up these past 4 years. How about a nice round of applause and even car horns for the class of 2020. There are 2 other people that I want to recognize here this afternoon, or this morning. These are retiring teachers, Katie Nelson and Lori Smith, neither of which are here, but they do deserve our recognition. Katie Nelson taught at Merrill High School for 17 years as both a special ed teacher and a guidance counselor. Her positive outlook and sense of humor made her a valued member of our staff, and we will certainly miss her. Lori Smith retired this year after 22 years of teaching family and consumer education. She always took great pride in providing real-life opportunities for our students and challenging them to be their best. The experience and skills that we lose with their retirements will be missed, and the entire Merrill community is very thankful for the years of service, and we wish them the best in their retirement. How about a nice round of applause for Mrs. Nelson and Mrs. Smith? At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the Merrill Area Public Schools Board of Education President, Mr. Kevin Blake. Mr. Blake.
Thank you, Mr. Murray, Dr. Sample, fellow board members, for this opportunity to speak today. I'd like to take a moment to thank all the people that not only made this day possible, but that helped shape our youth. It takes a village, and I, for one, am proud of our MAPS village. You have all played an instrumental role in making this day special, and also deserve thanks for guiding these graduates along their educational and personal pathways. This summer is also special to another group of people, as Mr. Murray just mentioned. For a number of Merrill Area Public Schools team members, they graduate to their next step in life, retirement. This time I'd like to take a quick moment and sincerely thank all of this year's retirees. But let me stay on task and focus on the topic of the day, the purpose for this joyful occasion, our graduating class of 2020. What can I say about this class that you don't already know? Not much, I'm sure. We all know that they're competitive, respectful, fun-loving, and inspiring. Like it or not, this group of students will remember or be remembered for the last few months since that crazy day in March, when we all heard that virtual learning was going to be our new normal, at least for the rest of the final school year. It may not have been what you pictured. It may have made some of you sad or disappointed, while others perhaps were relieved. Please know that I, for one, wish I could have magically made some of the events you missed out on happen, but unfortunately, that wasn't meant to be part of your story. But trust me, like the past few months, this class will be hard to forget. Also trust me when I say that there were quite a few life lessons mixed into this journey. They may not all be obvious today, but someday you will appreciate the experience. Now I am officially sounding like my father. That's a good thing. I'd like to share a few thoughts with everyone, especially our graduates. First of all, I want you to know that I'm proud of you. Where you all have your own story, your own journey, you all worked hard. You made the best of it, and you did what you had to do. Most importantly, you made it here today. While actually the journey has really just begun, whether you've decided to go to work, off to higher education, trade school, the military, or haven't perhaps even made up your mind yet, your possibilities are indeed endless. Please make sure you take a moment and reflect on what you've already accomplished, and stay positive and do your best to make the most out of your future. You've got this. We have faith in you. Next, I'd like to get a little more specific on that one point, because I truly feel that it's very important. I asked you to stay positive and to do your best. Perhaps these words sound familiar. I know I've been reminded of these words for the majority of my life from my parents, teachers, coaches, and other mentors along the way. And yes, that officially confirms it. Now I'm definitely sounding like my dad. I've shared in the past that I found some words of inspiration and motivation from the NFL Hall of Famer Ray Lewis via his Affirmations for Greatness series to be personally useful. I have found it key in my life to start my days consistently by properly fueling my body and getting into the right mindset. Personally, I went from listening to Ray Lewis to writing my own affirmations and gratitudes, and even listing 3 or 4 things daily in my journal that make me smile or simply make me happy. But that's just me. Perhaps others take walks read, listen to podcasts, while others prefer music or other forms of art or exercise and recreation. Embrace what makes you happy. Get up a little earlier. Start there each and every day. Just like I hope you learned this spring, you start by making today great so you can string together a series of great days. So I encourage you to find your method and believe in yourself, remembering that you control your attitude and how you approach anything and everything in life. Please don't take this like that one last lecture you had to sit through, but a sincere, heartfelt message that I personally wish I would have listened to and embraced earlier in life. Perhaps you are not aware, but this class has uplifted me in many ways throughout the years. Some by their music, some through their art, others through teamwork, others through gutsy individual performances, yet others simply making me smile by just being them. So let me take this opportunity and say thank you to each of our graduates for being you. I do have a saying that I like to share at special occasions like this. I have used it to start many days personally as a reminder to stay focused and be the best I can be. Some of you may know this as the lacrosse prayer. Please keep in mind that while I'm not looking for anyone to pray today, but I simply want you to listen as I conclude my speech with these words from an unknown author. We have been given this day to do with as we will. We can waste it or use it for good. What happens today is important because we are trading a day of our lives for it. When tomorrow comes, today will be gone forever, leaving behind what we have traded. We want it to be good, not evil. Gain, not loss. Success, not failure, in order that we never forget the price we paid, because the future is nothing more than a string of todays. In conclusion, I would just like to say one more time, thank you. Best of luck in everything you do in the future, and congratulations to Merrill High School, class of 2020.
At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce the class of 2020 class officers, Camila Ament, Eve Akey, Sadie Wakefield, and Sophia Schrader. Come on up, please.
A letter to COVID-19. The 2019-2020 school year started out like every other school year. The students, some new and some returning, would walk the halls, study in class, and eat in the commons. The once strangers from freshman year would in the years to come become friends. With these friends, we made memories during homecoming, dances, school assemblies, sports, and many more events in and out of school. Yet, in the early months of 2020, COVID-19, took some of these experiences away from us. You brought our everyday life to a halt. Everyone had a different reaction towards you at first. Some people were frightened, anxious, angry, and even bored. However, I believe that through time, people have learned to adjust to you. I believe that people have learned to cope with you by learning to stay busy, by learning to live in the moment, and by learning to appreciate time with friends and family. Change happens, and you, COVID-19, were a big change. Change doesn't always have to be negative, though. You taught us important lessons, made us appreciate time with friends, made us closer with our family, and stronger as a generation.
As you continued to spread, our teachers adapted to make sure our learning continued as well. In the span of a few days, teachers and students alike had to adjust to an entirely new environment, one that no one saw coming. While all of us faced some amount of adversity in this new territory, some faced even tougher roadblocks. From internet issues to loud families, from financial struggles to new responsibilities, many of the students at Merrill High persevered through very difficult challenges learning virtually, and this perseverance was all for the sake of continuing to pursue plans there before you walked in. For the seniors, the future seemed very near, and so, instead of giving up and letting you in, we pushed through. We pushed through the classes on Google Meets, the long videos, and the struggles of managing our own time. It wasn't easy, but we all had futures to pursue, and we weren't going to let a global pandemic get in the way.
Our sports seasons are usually usually what keep us going and pushing through the lull that the winter months and third quarter bring. Something to look forward to and goals to work towards. With you in the mix, though, our seasons were cut short, some before they even began. Freshmen missed the chance to prove themselves, sophomores their chance to move up on the varsity scale, juniors the chance to be noticed by scouts and their dream colleges, and our seniors one last chance to play with their childhood friends and teammates and indulge in the sport that had been their favorite pastime for as long as they can remember. While you took this past season away from us, you also gave us the opportunity to look back on our favorite seasons and show how truly blessed we were to play while we had the chance. You have shown us not to take no practice, no lap, no push-up, no strikeout, or missed goal for granted. You tore us down only for us to come back stronger and more unified. You did not break us. We will forever be grateful for the coaches who stuck by our sides through wins and losses and through your turmoil. For our teammates who cheered us on and helped us keep our heads high and our eyes on the bigger picture. Finally, Merrill High for keeping us going, learning, and appreciating all that we have.
You came very suddenly, and many of the opportunities we had long been looking forward to faded. You changed our picture of normal. You created chaos, fear, uncertainty, and heartache in the lives of many. But we thank you for that, because in turn, the opportunities you uprooted were exchanged for a chance to stop, think, and learn. We were given the chance to become stronger. In the uncertainties we faced, we learned how to find peace in knowing that we are not in control. We learned that in such times, what we can control is our attitude. We can look back and be thankful for the memories we did get to make and share with our loved ones. We can look back and cherish the wonderful moments we did get to experience and share time with the most important people in our lives, family and close friends. We were taught that staying in safe contact with the friends and family we dearly missed was so important. Taking care of ourselves was also necessary. We learned to be creative, get outside, and do things that would safely bring happiness to our lives in a rather hard time. We relished in the ability to be grateful for the blessings we did have. Searching for blessings and being thankful became a source of joy, and we saw more and more of them every day. Let us not forget how hurtful you were to many of us, but this hurt brought about a chance to grow. We can confidently say that our past was not redefined, or altered by present hardship. It has been made clear to us that we can turn the struggles we were facing into lessons to apply to our lives. Many of us learned the importance of being present in our day-to-day lives and taking nothing for granted. COVID-19, this isn't about you anymore, it's about us. So, in all this learning amidst our struggles, let's take these lessons to heart. Let's always have the strength to change our attitude for the better, even when it's difficult. Let's always be thankful. Let's always strive to be present and make the most of the opportunities we're given and the things we get to do. Let's step out of our comfort zones to say thank you, hello, and have a great day with a smile on our face. Let's love the people around us we've been blessed with a little deeper, always remembering what's truly important in this life. Most importantly, let's use the struggle we have all persevered through to make our lives and the lives around us the lives of those around us better, applying what we've learned in any way we possibly can. And better yet, let's take these lessons and make this our new normal. And may God bless us all. Love, the Class of 2020 officers.
This year, the senior class came together as a whole to choose one significant teacher from our high school career to speak on our behalf at graduation. We chose a teacher that dedicated all their time to mentoring and teaching us students when not golfing or watching the Denver Broncos. We chose a teacher that we looked up to. We chose a person that obviously served us as a teacher, but also as a friend. When I asked the senior class what that teacher meant to us, one student replied, no matter the issue, he was the man to go to. He was willing to help with anything. This teacher was raised in Merrill, Wisconsin, and attended UW-Stevens Point to obtain his bachelor's degree. Even after swearing he would never return, he now teaches in the social studies department here at the high school. He started teaching our freshman year, so we will never forget the multiple attempts of him trying to be cooler than his twin sister, Mrs. Swan. and many jokes that only he thought was funny. Buckle up for safety, folks. Give a booyah, and welcome Mr. Yurkovsky.
Howdy, folks. Thank you for the kind words of introduction, Sadie, and thank you, class of 2020, for choosing me to be the keynote speaker for your memorable day. I'm immensely honored to be a part of this celebration of you, and will remember this moment for a long time. It's fitting for me, as I look out at all of you here today, to be up here to speak to you one last time. Many of you may have forgotten, but I was just a student teacher when all of you were freshmen. How sweet it is that we started out 2 amazing journeys together all that time ago. Mine being my teaching career, and yours, your high school career. I'm deeply touched to be here with all of you at the end of that high school journey, so buckle up for safety as I leave you with one more tangent. As I reflected the past few weeks on what to say to all of you in this speech, words failed me. For a long time, I pondered what message could hold meaning to you following a year of turmoil, frustration, and loss. You all have lost so much, and for that, I am unbelievably sorry. It was during this time of reflection that I thought about the state of our world. Too many times in history class, we learn about certain moments that stand out over the years. Events like the founding of America, the abolition of slavery, the victories over evil powers in Europe during the World Wars, and the Civil Rights Movement. We never think that we will go through anything like those moments until they happen. Great people rose to action and answered the call during those times in history. We are living history here today with so many events unfolding before our very eyes. It is your duty to answer the call, as many others have in the past, but answering the call will not be easy. It won't even be the same call for all of you. But what it will take is the following: a fail-forward mentality, decluttering your life, and most notably, fighting the good fight. Author John C. Maxwell stated, "In life, the question is not if you will have problems, but how you are going to deal with your problems. If the possibility of failure were erased, what would you attempt to achieve?" However, the state of our world right now may have made some of you feel like failure is more likely than in the past. I promise you that failure must be a part of your journey. We have grown up in a culture that teaches us from a young age that failure is something that we should try to avoid. History teaches us something else, though. One of my favorite stories of failure breeding success is that of Abraham Lincoln. He failed business in 1833. His sweetheart died in 1835. He had a nervous breakdown the following year because of that. He failed at getting elected to public office multiple times. Eventually, he developed depression, and his friends and family feared for his life. At his worst, Lincoln once said, "Whether I shall ever be better, I cannot tell. I awfully forebode I shall not. To remain as I am is impossible. I must die or be better, it appears to me." Ultimately, Lincoln answered the call for him to change his mindset and fail forward. The rest, as they say, is history. We are called when things go wrong in our life, sometimes it is our own doing, sometimes it is not, to make small changes and decisions that will help us to fail forward. When you've made a mistake, it is important to self-reflect to understand what got you to that low point. Self-reflection should be daily and intentional. Self-reflection provides you the opportunity to keep growing and learn from failures. As you self-reflect, write it down. Writing down your reflections will change your psyche and get you psyched about a phenomenon known as positive psychology. I'm convinced that positive psychology and failing forward go hand in hand. Remember, failure is only final when we have closed the door on our own personal growth. Fail forward, and answering the call will be a lot easier. A step that ties directly to failing forward is to take action in your life. Now, some things in life seem easier than they really are. When I say take action, I'm not saying you need to change the world overnight. I'm simply saying that there are small actions or decisions that you can make to answer the call in your life. One action step that I think is undoubtedly important is to declutter your life. This can mean physically getting rid of things in your car, you know who you are, your home, or your office. More importantly, mentally getting rid of things detrimental to your success will help you lead a more fulfilled existence. One of my favorite music artists, NF, says in the song Remember This, "Surround yourself with people that challenge how you think, not nod their head and act like they agree. Those people would cut you open just to watch you bleed. Always be yourself, not the person you pretend to be." Part of the declutter process involves getting rid of people in your life that don't challenge you to grow and keep you stuck where you are. If life is calling you to move forward and grow as a human being, Let go of the people that will hinder you. Toxic people breed toxicity in others. Fighting the good fight. What a simple phrase. What a powerful phrase. My mentor, Mr. Iwan, once told me that it takes no talent to be a good human being. If you are going to answer the call in your life, this will be the most important part of who you choose to become. Take away our lofty career goals, our socioeconomic standing, our possessions, and what are we? We are human beings. People now more than ever need leaders to fight the good fight. Unfortunately, it seems we have lost our way of late. People can't be blamed for that. After all, how can you fight the good fight in a world filled with so much sorrow at times? It can be hard at times, can't it, to see the light? As I look at all of you, I am calling you to a purpose greater than yourselves, greater than your goals after high school. Goals and aspirations are amazing things, but they are worthless without our humanity. We need our humanity back. So my challenge to all of you, class of 2020, is to bring about the systemic change needed in our society right now to simply treat your fellow human beings with compassion and love. I'd like to leave you today with one of my favorite quotes from The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. It's a fitting one for answering the call to action. Here it is. It's all wrong. By rights, we shouldn't even be here, but we are. It's like in the great stories, the ones that really mattered. Full of darkness and danger they were, and sometimes you didn't want to know the end, because how could the end be happy? How could the world go back to the way it was after so much bad had happened? But in the end, it's only a passing thing, this shadow. Even darkness must pass, a new day will come, and when the sun shines, it will shine out the clearer. Those were the stories that stayed with you, that meant something, even if you were too small to understand why. But I think I do understand. I know now. Folk in those stories had a lot of chances of turning back, only they didn't. They kept going, because they were holding on to something, and that something is this. There's some good in the world, and it's worth fighting for. Fight for what's good, class of 2020, and you will feel that much more fulfilled. It has been an absolute honor and a privilege to have been your teacher, for some your coach, and maybe even for some your mentor. I hope you take heart and know you all have it in you to build a brighter future for yourselves, as well, hopefully, for humanity. Thank you, and have a booyah rest of your summer.
Thank you, Mr. Yagowski. At this time, I would like to introduce Merrill Area Public Schools Superintendent Dr. John Sample to certify the class of 2020. Dr. Sample.
Thank you, Mr. Murray. President Blake and members of the Merrill Area Public Schools Board of Education, as Superintendent of Merrill Area Public Schools, I hereby certify that the students seated before you today as the Merrill High School class of 2020 have met or exceeded the requirements for graduation from Merrill High School as outlined in Board Policy 5460. Having met those requirements, I am pleased to introduce to you the 2020 graduates of Merrill High School.
Thank you, Dr. Sample. At this time, I'll ask our ushers to join us, as well as Mrs. Martinovich and Mrs. Holt, as we present the diplomas.
Eve Akey. Camille Amen. Sadie Wakefield. Sophia Schrader. Vaughn Albrecht. Allison Anderson. Octavia Arnold. Carson Bagoon, Walker Bathke, Carter Bayer, Rachel Berg, Jacob Barrett, Allison Blaubach, Alex Block, Jennifer Bolanos, Jordan Brady, Dakota Bransky, Gracie Brown, Bailey Buckholt, Abby Bucknell, Abigail Bergner, Brianne Cagle, Michael Casper, Haley Conley, Latrell Cooper, Ethan Cordova, Ashton Dalton, Dawson Dengel, Cody Depius, Russell Detmering, Ryan Dewar, Hunter Dotter, Bryce Drayson, Austin Dufresne, Tiana Dujinski, Ian Ellis, Sydney Ellis, Trinity Evans, Britton Franson, Abby Frazier, Tyler Frederick, Alex Gerke, Mercedes Gilson, Ashley Glaza, Amy Gage, Micaiah Gage, Emma Golish, Henry Griefey, Savannah Gunther, Caitlin Hahn, Elizabeth Hartson, Dante Hatter, Dawson Heckendorf, Grace Helt, Jared Heller, Cody Higgins, Carter Hinz, Riley Hepner, Gary Hoffman, Nicholas Holes, Cassandra Howard, Zachary Iribaran, Lacey James, Joseph Johns, Trinity Connetts, Isabel Kelly Lowry, Caleb Kleinschmidt, Cody Kleinschmidt, Dawson Kleinschmidt, Gunnar Kressel. Anthony Cromrye. Mackenzie Kufal. Dominic Lothenberg. Isabella Lothenberg. Callie Lee. Avalon Leapart. Madeline Leischer. Mariah Lemmer. Bayan Lemon. Jacob Leopold. Tyler LeSueur. Alan Ludke. Alexis Manick. Jacob Matson. Caleb McCorkle. Anna Miller. Michelle Manat. Reese Marachek. Christian Nelson. Caleb Novich. Logan O'Connell. Katie O'Malley. Joshua Otto. Daniel Pepke. Aaliyah Pillai. Alexa Pazorski. Ashley Pridig. Pearson Pyan. Quinn Rainville. Braden Rajic. Jackson Raymer. Hallie Lee Roper. Veronica Rothgarn. Isaac Ruprecht. Anna Rydeski. Alexander Shoddy. Aaron Shellhorn. Allison Schlegel. Jacob Schnabel. Spencer Schneider. Riley Schatz. Nicholas Schulke. Curtis Schultz. Connor Sigelski. Molly Seidler. Andrew Sims. Wyatt Smet. Allison Smith. Riley Smith. Gianna Steffen. Brandon Stoltz. Madison Sturm. Haley Tellickson. Jeremy Thomas. Caleb Tim. Hannah Tomachek. Isabella Troyer. Ananda Van Wee. Talia Watts. Tyler Wendt. Austin Wiederhaft. Mackenzie Wenke. Spencer Wellner. Alexis Wright. Jay Zastro. And Cole Zimmerman.
this time, I'd like Camille Amon to come up and lead us in the turning of the tassels. Camille?
Class of 2020, please rise. There is one more history lesson and one more set of instructions while you're still here at Merrill High School. Caps and gowns have been part of graduation ceremonies since the early 1800s, but tassels are a relatively new graduation tradition and have only been around for about 50 years. The turning of the tassel signifies the official transformation from candidate to graduate. At this time, I ask everyone from Merrill High School, class of 2020, to join us in making this official. And please move your tassel from the right side of your mortarboard to the left. Congratulations, graduates of the class of 2020!
Could I ask the other class officers to please come and lead us in Hail to the Blue? Thank you.
Now, fellow Merrill High School graduates, for almost 100 years, Hail to the Blue has been a rich tradition and a way to pay tribute to our alma mater, Merrill High. The song traditionally included a salute to MHS from the heart to the sky and has been sung at assemblies, football games, and graduations for generations. Recently, however, the students at MHS wanted to update the salute to be more representative of the times and chose the University of Wisconsin varsity wave as a replacement for the old salute. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the wave, it goes like this. At this time, I ask everyone to please rise and join the graduates of the class of 2020 in singing our new and improved alma mater, Hail to the Blue.